Welcome everybody to Blerdlines. This is your man Cam. With me, as always, is
Broncos got to buy,
as well as
this whole season has been a buy for the Giants.
and at the end, bringing up the rear.
Can't talk about no football, but I will say the professor is wearing the Blerdlines tee right now.
Hey,
got some gear here.
Hey,
Limited edition.
Moving on up.
Fresh for 2026. And we are back semi-reluctantly here to talk about the trailer for Wonder Man.
why are you slandering the black man? Why are we reluctant?
You're watching it because he's black. He's black. That's the only reason I'm watching it. I didn't care. I don't know what we're doing here. Disney just assumes that we're gonna and the promotion has been lackluster. They're gonna drop all the episodes at the same time. It doesn't look everything that's from up front has not been great. I haven't watched this trailer. I'm coming in blind, so we'll see and we'll check it out. So let's check this out. I have no idea what that is about.
Nope, none whatsoever.
I don't even know. I'm like, okay.
Are you guys familiar with the character? I mean, you and Josh are the Marvel guys, so why don't we start there? Tell us who is Wonder Man, and because I really have no frame of reference, and so what I just saw, I don't even know how to begin to talk about
it. To me, he just reminds me of a black version of Miss Marvel. Same powers. That's just to me. Super speed, psionic powers, strength, strong as Hulk and Thor. Nothing stands out over my comic history about Wonder Man. I've heard of the character, I've read some stuff, but again, the only thing I had with this trailer was the curiosity of why he's hiding his powers for this particular moment in this rendition of the retelling of a Wonder Man story.
Yeah, that's the thing I was curious about. Like Wonder Man's powers are kind of ridiculous. It's like he has every power essentially. Yeah. He's basically made of ion or some shit, and so he has flight, he has immortality, he has power. Like he's literally almost a grab bag of all of them put together. So there is like Cam said, there's really no there. Like when he's in his actual like power state, he looks different. There's some interesting stuff, but like as of right now, like there's a lot of powers that he has, and so the more curious thing to me is why he's hiding it. I'm curious about that. Plus, the character itself has been in the comics more like I'm a superhero, I'm an actor, and everyone knows I'm an actor, and everyone knows I'm a superhero, so it's the out in the open type of a thing. So he joins.
So this is legitimately that's the story of Wonder Man, is that he's an actor
in comics
and a superhero.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
So think almost. So the way they position him in the comics is almost like a Booster Goldish kind of guy, except Booster Gold is kind of hapless and pointless, and nobody really takes him seriously. Like they take him seriously, but at the same time, like he's kind of a self-aggrandizing actor who's just who's also an Avenger.
Yeah, exactly. And so
it sounds convoluted, to be honest. It sounds like
it's Marvel. Yeah. It's Marvel, so that's why.
I'm going to say this is like a 40, 50-year-old character in Marvel Comics. So yes,
exactly. And then also that's also the reason why I was like surprised they took this character, because unlike a Guardians of the Galaxy where like all those characters are not throwaways, but like your average public person has no idea. Wonder Man is like a weird character to pull up from because he can literally be anything. So there's really no. I'm curious to see what the there is like even with your face right now. That's exactly what it is. Like there's no. The fact that they made him black doesn't even do anything to the character, good or bad. It's just like, oh, he's black, cool. But so I'm more curious, like, why did they green like this? Like, I don't understand what the pitch was.
But then also,
yeah,
this is like just Marvel trying to cloud the space of that idea, because we already know the DCU is going to release another Wonder Woman film and story. So now you have a Marvel property that is Wonder Man. And I'm not saying that it's the same thing. It's just, to the person that isn't really familiar with either DC or Marvel, I'm thinking that that's sort of just, I don't know what
it comes off as derivative.
It does, but then so many of the they both have things that are derivative one of the other, like Thanos, Darkseid, all kind of stuff. Namor, Aquaman, like there's all kind of derivativeness to it. But just talking about this trailer, because without going into the character, this is a better trailer in terms of giving a more idea sense of what this narrative world is going to look like. But I have no interest in seeing this. That didn't make me want to see it, or even explore what the character is like. I just don't. And then for me personally, if I have to see Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery one more time in the MCU, that alone is the reason why I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not going to watch this. I'm not going to waste my time. No, they keep coming back to the same joke. And it was not a very good joke to begin with. I didn't like that stupid twist of the Mandarin and all of that. And I liked it even less in Shang-Chi when we get, oh, here's the Mandarin, but we're not going to call him the Mandarin. We're going to call him Wenwu. And he's not actually the Mandarin. He's just kind of like taking a piece of one character and combining it with the Mandarin just so that the MCU can make up for what it did to the character. So not interested in this film. That's all
I will watch this because I might not have anything else to watch. I'm not going to force myself to watch anything else. I've been watching old stuff.
Read a book.
I always do that. That's par for the course. But, when there's no time, when there's just me just watching TV, I may just take this out. And I don't think there's much of a commitment. If it's just a mini series, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's 8. I think it's like 6 episodes or something like that.
These will go by quick. And this doesn't offend me as much as the other stuff did. So I was just confused on the first trailer. This trailer is a little bit more coherent. But I'm familiar with the character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the trailer is more coherent. Like I said, I'm just not interested in this.
There's not there doesn't seem to be anything to latch onto that makes me say, oh, I need to watch this. Aside from the fact that I'm a very big Yahya Abdul-Mateen fan. So I'll probably watch it for him, because he's a great actor, and I feel like he's good. He's very good. So
bro's all over the place though. He's Dr. Manhattan, he's Mounted, and now So like pick somebody, man, bro. Stick with us.
No, I mean he's an actor. He's taking.
Okay, speaking from an actor's point of view, yes, take your roles, but sheesh. Brother,
I'm actually the other thing I'll say too is the creator and showrunner is going to be Destin Daniel Cretton that did Shang-Chi, and he's about to do the new Spider-Man. So like that might give it like a 0.5 of eyebrow curiousness about it. I'm more curious about that, like what he's going to do with it. But I also back to it.
Wait, John Watts isn't doing the new Spider-Man?
Oh no, he's done. Yeah, he was done with the 3.
Yep.
So it is a brand new day, seriously. And I don't know how I feel about that because John Watts actually, to me, John Watts was one of the best that they had in terms of
agreed.
The person telling the story for one of their characters.
Yeah. So I'm like I said, I'm curious. Like I said, Destin has a little bit of credibility, but not much. So I'm curious to see what that's going to happen. But regardless of this trailer,
I said I hope that credibility is not from Shang-Chi because that movie was not great.
Yeah, true.
I thought it was a pitch right up the middle.
But yeah, so
I've never watched this. Since the one time I watched it in the theater, that in and of itself tells me that it was a little less than up the middle, at least for me.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I was going to say the same thing you just said. I'm curious. I'm really curious. Yeah. I'm curious to see in particular how they iterate his powers. You know,
that sounds
his whole, like, the whole thing with him, you know, like he's got the classic old school, you know, superhuman powers given from chemical and radiation treatments. If memory serves, it had something to do with Zemo, when he was Masters of Evil thing.
Which another angle that could have been interesting enough, because the Zemo in MCU is amazing. So
100%.
Once again, shelve the actual like antagonist and just don't use nothing for him, and then they bring in these whack ass ones. So I'm like,
Zemo appeared in Civil War.
Yep.
And then what else after that?
What's
Falcon?
it called? Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Okay, because every time you guys say Zemo was great, I'm always like, he barely did anything. Like, what? I mean, he did the whole.
Was good in the role.
Daniel Brühl was good in the role, but I don't know if the character was written to be as amazing as sometimes it's made out to be. I don't know if they reached that point with Zemo. The potential was definitely there, but they dropped the ball a little bit as far as that goes.
My argument was that more interesting as an antagonist, if maybe top 2 interesting antagonists the MCU had. Now, what they did with him once he was introduced, they dropped the ball. But I always felt like this character did have a lot of potential to be one of the better villains. Because I remember we had a distinct discussion about this, about the top villains in the MCU. I mentioned Zemo as one of the top dudes that I found very interesting, that had the potential to be one of the better villains if done properly.
Oh, absolutely.
If that movie had an actual script, then it probably would have been come off even more of him being an effective villain. But Civil War, much like in all of the other Russo stuff, you could tell it didn't start with the script. They just kind of came up with that as it went. I was just gonna say really quick about Wonder Man, and why Wonder Man if you're gonna do a race swap when you have Adam the Blue Marvel? Is it just that they don't have permission to use that character? Someone that is actually a black character written to be black. His backstory is about his identity as a black man. He's more powerful than most of. That's probably why they won't. But they nerfed every.
Blue Marvel?
Blue Marvel.
Adam the Blue Marvel, created by Kevin Grevioux. But his story arc was amazing. It was one of the best that Marvel had produced during that. I think it was released in the mid 2000s when Adam Blue Marvel's first arc, first run with Kevin Grevioux writing it. Because I remember one of my college friends had it, and I was like, "What is this?" And I picked it up. And he's like, "Oh, that's Adam Blue Marvel." And I saw Kevin Grevioux' name, and I'm like, "Wait a second, I know this dude." And then I started reading it, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is like one of the best Marvel stories I had read up to that point." And I hadn't read the Astonishing X-Men and the Josh Whedon run or any of that stuff yet, but that was great. And so ever since then, I've been looking for a live action adaptation of Adam the Blue Marvel because it was such a compelling character and story arc, and it's always relevant. No matter, you can drop that character in any period of America and it will always work. It will always work, and you can always go back to its actual origin and tether it to those events, even if you change some of the characters. Like you might have to swap out Tony Stark for someone else and, whatever. But I just don't get it. Instead of race swapping, just bring in one of your best black characters that's in your roster.
That's already ready-made and ready to go, right?
Yeah. I mean, yep. Yeah. And you know what? We'll leave it at that. If Marvel wants to use black characters, they got a whole treasure trove that they could use ready to go. They just don't do it. So till that time, thanks you for listening. This is Blerdlines. We out.
Peace.
Like, subscribe, and the things. Stupid.
All the things.